Hmm. Well, you know, I've been thinking that since this is called the Colonel's Chronicles, that some of you out there are wondering, how did he come up with the name the Colonel? Surely he must have been a colonel in the army. Well, I wasn't, but I was in the army. So I want to give you, in this short little bit of video, why I got the name the Colonel and how that came to be. And it's really not anything dramatic, or anything super special. But back in the day, when I was a little bit younger, I was in a motorcycle club, or we were starting a motorcycle club for law enforcement, since at the time I was law enforcement. And as a member of the club, you needed to have a road name. And out of respect for my father, because he was a colonel in the U.S. Army, out of respect for him, I came up with the name the Colonel for myself, because I wanted to remember my dad each time I rode, and I wanted to show respect for him. So I called myself the Colonel. And that was that. However, I transferred to another place, and I was in corrections. So I transferred to another institution, and I was a supervisor. And sometimes, as things would have it, supervisors are not always well liked. And the people there had heard my nickname, or my road name, the Colonel. But they also thought, after seeing my white goatee, because I used to have a white goatee at a very young age and it came down, they decided that I looked like Colonel Sanders from Kentucky Fried Chicken. And they thought they would talk about me behind my back and call me Colonel Sanders and call me the Colonel. And they didn't think I knew that. And they thought it would hurt my feelings, and they did it to be derogatory, or so I was told. But I thought that was hilarious, because I was already going by the Colonel. I didn't care one bit. But I used to laugh, and then a couple of them, I caught them saying the Colonel, or overheard them, and they saw that I overheard, and they were like, oh, he heard us, he heard it. Just like, I don't care. I think it's hilarious. We even had a Halloween party, and I had a friend of mine, she decided that, hey, I hope you look like Colonel Sanders from Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I thought, man, that would be hilarious. And I think that would be great. So that's what we did. And got the little apron, got the little pin tie. My hair wasn't all the way white back then, but my goatee was. And my mustache was mostly. And so we colored my hair white. Got me a empty chicken bucket. And I showed up at that Halloween party looking like Colonel Sanders. Now I'm here to tell you, I thought it was hilarious, but the people there, they started falling out laughing and saying, oh my goodness, I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, why? I think it's hilarious. I think it's funny. Well, we just thought that, we thought it would bother you. You didn't like. I said, I've been called the Colonel for way longer than before I got to this institution. I said, you can call me whatever you want. You can call me whatever you want to my face. You might not like my response, but you can definitely call me whatever you want behind my back, because I'm not there to say anything about it, and I don't care. It doesn't hurt my feelings. The Colonel's feelings are not that soft, and my ego isn't that big. But anyway, we went to a Halloween party, and I was handing out candy out of that chicken bucket, and we just had a good old time. And kudos to my friend who helped me with that costume, because it was classic in my book, and my book's the one I read, so I thought it was great. And that's from then on, even from the motorcycle club days, but then forward to this institution, I just became the Colonel, and I thought it was hilarious, and I've just stuck to it that until this day. And I decided to incorporate that into this YouTube channel. And as we talk about my life and how I ended up here and in the Philippines, and Thailand before that. And I just thought, let's tell the story of my life here on YouTube. And maybe that's not a good idea because I'm going to share things that are probably private and maybe should remain private. But I'm hoping that people can learn from my mistakes or maybe some of the good things that I did. And they can maybe take the good and apply that to their life, or they can laugh at me, joke about me, and just have a good time. And when they're done watching my video, they can laugh and say, man, I'm sure glad I didn't do the stupid stuff that he did. Or, man, that guy, what is his problem? Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? But you know what? I think it's all good. And you live your life. I'm living mine, right or wrong, good or bad. And I just have to show proper respect to my father because he's the original Colonel in my life and always will be, even though he's long since gone. This right here, this was his. And he got full military honors at Arlington Cemetery for his 30 years or so in the military. Vietnam, Okinawa, Fort Polk, Louisiana, Fort Hood, Texas, Fort Hamilton, New York, Gießen, Germany. Where else? Fort Meade, Maryland. I can't remember if there were other places. But anyway, my respects to the Colonel. And thank you for giving me this idea so that I can call myself the Colonel. And every time I say it, I can remember you, Dad. Thank you so much for everything that you taught me here on earth and since you've been gone. Until next time, folks, take care, God bless, and live your life to the fullest. You never know when it might be the last.